live at wingam.com. WING 1410 Dayton, Dayton's ESPN Radio. It's the Justin Kinner Show, live here on ESPN Dayton, 1410 Wing AM. Tweet the show at 1410 Kinner or give us a call at 457-9464. We now send you to the Wing Studios in Kettering. Here's your host, Justin Kinner.
All right, everybody, welcome in. I'm Justin Kinner. He's Kev Nash. It is the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash right here on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. It's Hump Day.
Hump Day Wednesday in the city.
Absolutely. So much to get into. And by the way, as my gift to you, our listeners, is it's a positive and a negative. You get less of Kev today, but so that's the problem. But good news, you get less of me too. We're only with you until 4:30. We're going to hand it off. The Reds have a doubleheader tonight. The Reds have not played since last Friday when they came away with the win against the Pirates. Both games over the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, were postponed. Last night's game 1 against the Royals was postponed as well, which led to today's doubleheader. So we'll get to that coming up. 4:30, we'll hand it off to Tommy Thrall and kind of go from there. But we got a lot to get into. How about the SEC smells blood in the water? We're going to open up with that. Lane Kiffin, who is a very unlikable guy to begin with. And I kind of like people like that like just know their presence in the room and they still don't care. They're still their slimy selves. Lane Kiffin, of all people, is the one leading this certain Lane Kiffin is the one leading this certain push that we're going to get into coming up here in a moment. Now, you and I have talked about Kevin Warren and his son playing in the SEC. Mm-hmm. I thought that was a topic of the past, but people keep bringing it up on Facebook and some others, and I'm just like, so I kind of snapped today on Facebook, and I had to go back and edit my post because I was a little aggressive. I was a little rude, so I had to change it. But it still amazes me how many people are bashing Kevin Warren's kid for playing. It is unfortunate.
Are they bashing the kid or are they bashing
it's him? I mean, I think it's all under the same umbrella. They're bashing Kevin. It's stemming to Kevin Warren. Let's be fair. If we're going to put divide it up as far as the blame game or who's the hate being aimed at more, it's obviously Kevin Warren. But at the same time, when you look at it, it's the kid's being brought up a lot. The kid's name is being brought up a lot, and that's irritating me. Like,
cool name, by the way.
What?
His name is Powers. His first name is Powers.
How about Powers that? Warren?
How about that? That's pretty cool.
Yeah, Ohio State's always had some really cool running back names, like, you know what I mean? And,
Peppy Pearson.
But that would be one of those, But here's the deal. It's unfortunate that the Big Ten does not have an opportunity. It's unfortunate that the Big Ten players had the opportunity to choose taken away from them. That is unfortunate, but both can be true. Mm-hmm. Just because the Big Ten players had their opportunity taken or their choice taken from them, it doesn't mean that you have to force his kid you have to force him to not play. You have to take his choice away too. That's why I pointed out the hypocrisy of Big Ten fans. The hypocrisy of Big Ten fans, and again, it's not just Buckeye fans, it's everyone, but the hypocrisy of Big Ten fans right now is that it's, oh my goodness, how can you take away the choice of the players? How can you take their choice away? But when it comes to Warren's kid, all of a sudden, everyone wants his choice taken away because, hey, your dad, you're 20 years old, but your dad said it's too dangerous for the Big Ten to play. So clearly it is too dangerous for you to play. Where do you fall on that? Because I'm not being swayed to their side. But that's the most common argument as well. If he thinks it's too dangerous for the Big Ten players to play, then clearly he has to think it's too dangerous for his kid to play. Maybe. But everyone's relationship with their parents is different. Right. But every parent can, they can advise their kid at 20 years old of what they think is right and what they think is wrong. But ultimately, it is still up to the player. And fortunately for the SEC, their players still have a choice. And as long as they still have a choice, Kevin Warren's son should still have that choice. Who are the Big Ten fans? Who are Buckeye fans to think that he shouldn't play? Because your arguments don't make sense, Big Ten fans. You're still saying, well, then the SEC kids shouldn't play at all.
Right.
But you're arguing that the Big Ten players should play. So again, nothing's making sense. Just relax and stop attacking the kids. So you're mad at Kevin Warren, be mad at Kevin Warren. But the fact that his kid is playing in the SEC, and it's that conference. That conference is
that's what it is.
That conference is what ticks people off. So because of that conference, that's why this is also a storyline. Like if he played at Notre Dame or if he played in the ACC.
If he played at Notre Dame, it'll be a thing.
Really?
If he played in the AAC or something like that.
Or if he played at like Cincinnati, the American or something like
American,
that.
they wouldn't say anything.
So yeah, it's just because it's the SEC why people are losing their minds. So I put that post out today. So Billy Wright on Facebook says the hypocrisy comes from Big Ten commissioner, not the fans. No, I think it's a combination of both. And by the way, I don't think that the commissioner is a hypocrite. The commissioner is a lot of things right now. He is obviously not viewed as, he's not getting a lot of respect, nor should he. I'm not arguing that one way or another. But him being a father and him being commissioner of the Big Ten, there is zero parallel there. There is zero overlap there, I should say. Mm-hmm. There is no overlap. So, no, I mean, the hypocrisy, what are you talking about? So if you make every decision you make at work, you mean to tell me, so if you have employees, if you have, me and you manage some part-timers, back when, we had part-timers. So our expectations for our part-timers, if we had kids, that would have to be the same expectations that we have for our expectations are stemmed around work expectations, right, not valued expectations. Kevin Warren is responsible financially, lawsuit-wise. Like, is his kid going to turn around and sue him if he gets the virus? No, I'm suing my parents. I'm going to sue my dad, Kevin Warren, for letting me play football when he knew the risks. So does that mean every athlete out there can turn around and sue their parents who let them play sports this coming up season? That's a weird mindset to have. Enough of the Kevin Warren kid thing, because I saw Clay Travis and others at 457-9464, by the way. If you want to jump in on the conversation, please do. It was Clay Travis who was tweeting out about it too, so I jumped on it as far as that goes. But 457-9464, if you want to jump in on the conversation, you can do so. Or, of course, you can head to Facebook. We are live on Facebook. We are live on the ESPN Dayton YouTube channel. And, of course, we're live on Twitter as well at 1410 Kinner, KINNER. Give Kev Nash a follow as well at one Kev Nash.
I'm here going to say the exact same thing we've been saying for the last 3 days about this topic. We do not know what he is telling his son behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. He could be begging, pleading with his son not to play. And his son is 20 years old and can make his own decisions. And kind of like how you say, these are grown adults, right? I don't see it that way. I see them as young adults still needing guidance. And he may be guiding his son not to play, but ultimately it's his decision to play or to not to play.
But why is like a guy like Justin Fields, this great man, this great leader, why is he all of those things when he is making decisions on his own? Mm-hmm. But a guy like Kevin Warren's son is a young adult in your eyes. And they are. And by the way, I'll meet you halfway. Fine, they're young adults. Yeah. Yes, they're not kids. I don't like when we call them college kids. When you and I were freshmen in college, we were not viewed as college kids.
Oh, yeah.
We were viewed we were viewed as adults, 18-year-old adults in college. Trust me. The law says so.
Yeah, definitely. That we can go down a long road of stuff with that, but we'll stick to sports. No, I really do get sick of the whole thing about them attacking his kid about playing, everything like that. It's two totally different things, man. Like, we don't know what he's telling his son behind the scenes. He could be telling him till he's blue in the face he doesn't want him to play and showing him the type of evidence that he used to kind of shut down the Big Ten. And his son could be like, no, I'm straight. I've made a commitment to my team. I want to play. He'd be telling him the exact same things that Justin Fields is telling everybody else. He talking about the seniors that came back for their senior year, people that got injured coming back, and he wants to play, and he doesn't have any control over his son in this aspect. So here's what it is.
All right, 457-9464. Lane Kiffin had some very interesting things to say that if Buckeye fans are ready, when you hear that name, if he makes your skin crawl, if he didn't make your skin crawl before, he's going to make your skin crawl here in just a couple minutes when we get into that. But let's go to the phones. We got Charlie waiting on us. What's up, Charlie? How are you? Welcome.
Hey, guys. Happy Wednesday.
Hey, absolutely.
Man, there's a lot of different ways you can think about this. And Kevin Warren is a first-year he's a first-year commissioner, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay, so I heard this morning that there are maybe like 4 to 6 schools that are trying to do like a 10-week schedule where they play each other twice, a home-and-home schedule.
They got debunked. They got debunked today. Letterman, or no, I'm sorry, not Letterman Row. We're going to talk about that with Letterman Row's Austin Ward coming up at 4. But was it Snook? Snook put that out. Yeah. And here's my problem. Like, I get reporters. They always have an inside. They always have the scoop. But how many times has the scoop actually turned out to be factual? Like, let's be honest. Like, I mean, right now, the Big Ten, they are just, their lips are sealed tight. They are not letting anything slip or anything out. But yet guys like Jeff Snook and everyone else, they always have the inside scoop of what's going on. Let's be clear here. Right now, what's the biggest complaint from Big Ten coaches right now? Is that they don't hear anything or know anything from the Big Ten. So if the coaches don't know anything from the Big Ten, how does a Snook know? How do these reporters know when the Big Ten coaches don't even know? That's what's crazy to me.
Yeah, and well, I was going to say if that was actually true, it would actually work out in Kevin Ward's favor, because if it did happen and they ended up playing and somebody did get coronavirus, something happened, now it's like, hey, I canceled the season. You guys decided to do your own thing, so that's on you. But anyway, we all know the answer at the end of the day. It's either every conference is going to play or no conference is going to play. You know that's how it's going to shake out. You know that the SEC eventually they're going to cancel their season. They gave themselves an extension, but there's got to be something more to this, that the Pac-12 and the Big Ten already canceled their seasons without even extending it out to the furthest, to the longest you can extend it.
I mean, absolutely. The difference, I mean, the Big Ten, they were going to kick off their season on September 3rd. Ohio State was going to be, who are they? At Illinois on September 3rd. Their season was going to start a month basically before everybody else's. So their clock was a lot, they had less time that they were working with. The SEC doesn't kick off, I believe, until September 26th. Mm-hmm. So they have more than a month right now, to kind of give themselves some wiggle room. What I think it has a lot to do with, and from people I've spoke to, because I'm going to play the source game too, since everyone else likes to play that game. A lot of it has to do, keep in mind, there's a business side, not just to sports, but to college as well. Enrollment plays a big key in this too. And the longer that the SEC and the longer that the ACC and others, the longer that they give off the illusion that there's actually going to be a season, the longer you keep students enrolled into your classes. And there's a certain date that you have to remain enrolled into classes by, that then you only get a certain % of a refund from your tuition if that's the case. So I think that's what there's a business side to this as well. And I believe a lot of these conferences and others and presidents are pretending to be invested into a season that they know is not going to happen, just to keep students enrolled long enough to be able to keep as much of their money as possible.
That's a good point, Justin. Did you come up with that on your own?
If I say yes, will you be even more impressed? How about that? Context clues. But hey, Charlie, thanks, man. I appreciate the call. But you know what I mean? Like, there is a business side to this. Mm-hmm. There was a former Ohio State player that played in the NFL for a little bit that I spoke to back in March. And he told me back in March that right now, watch, like, as long as the virus, if it kept getting worse, and this is back in March before we even knew what was even going on completely with this former player basically told me that, hey, you know what? When you look at everything going on, these schools have already made up their mind that if the virus is still here by the end of the year, there is going to be no college sports. But enrollment is based on a lot of the expectations and excitement of college athletics. Even if you're not a college athlete, you are still, you're going to the school to experience those, to go to the tailgates, to go to the games, and all that. And as long as the perception is that there's going to be football, that's going to keep people feeling good about, well, if there's going to be football, then things are going to be somewhat normal. I mean, there's still going to be activities going on around campus. And to be honest, looking back at that conversation, it makes a lot of sense. That's where the Big Ten went wrong. They went wrong here because they pulled the plug before students even completely got on campus. The SEC, they're getting all the students on campus. Mm-hmm. They're getting everyone ready to go. You're collecting that tuition money.
Collecting activity fees, collecting room and board, and
book money, non-refundable items. It's I'm telling you, that's what. Yeah.
And when they pull we're going to online only, how many parents are going to pack up the car, drive all the way to wherever university, pack up the car again, drive their kid all the way back to school, back home again?
Yep.
Like, how many people are just going to be like, man, hey, Tommy, be careful up there. see you in November. Because you got to think, man, a lot of these institutions, people come from all across the country, man. Like, it isn't like, oh man, just because you live in Columbus, you go to Ohio State. Like, that's different. But there's people that are from Texas that are just regular students that go to Ohio State. That's not something easy to transport. You can't just, oh man, we'll just go home on the weekend. That's a plan. You got to plan that out. Yep.
Yeah, and keep in mind, and what in the world is that? What's going on in this bill? I think you and I were the only ones here, and I'm hearing voices, which that shouldn't surprise people at all. That's Hoop. That's the Hoop. He needs to turn that mess down. I'm telling you, no, I'm just joking. But no, what's interesting about all of this is, like, let's use a local example. The equivalent to the passion of big-time football fans is the equivalent to college basketball here in this city. Let's take UD, for example. We know that one of the best experiences on that university's campus is going to UD Arena and taking in a UD basketball game. So it makes good business sense, not just from an athletic standpoint, but from the university president standpoint, to say, you know what, if we come out right now and say we have no plans of playing college basketball coming up this, late fall, early winter, how many people do you think are going to drop out of college? And I'm not saying everyone's going to UD just because of the basketball team, but that is one of the best. That's one of the best experiences outside. You know what I mean? Draw. Yeah, it's the draw for that school as far as activities and everything else. So if they announce that now, how many people would stay enrolled at UD? I mean, there would be students there. It wouldn't be a ghost town, but how many would you lose if there's no live sports? I mean, that's a good indication that, okay, if there's no sports, clearly it's not even smart for me to be on this campus right now if they're not even going to have sports. So I guarantee you a program like UD is going to drag their feet as long as possible when it comes to and not just the school, but the conference itself.
Right.
Because the conference itself works with the presidents, and all those presidents are going to, as a whole, are going to be like, yeah, we're not going to sign off on a season, but we're also not going to sign off on pulling the plug so damn early. That's why the Big Ten looks like a bunch of amateurs. They pulled the plug early and gave off the perception that all their schools mean nothing right now. But the SEC, all their students, they're being cocky. They're thinking they're going to have a great time. They're thinking they're going to enjoy the college football season. Their time's coming. They're going to be as angry as the Big Ten fans are right now. Who do we got on hold?
We got Tay on the line.
What's up, Tay? How are you?
Hello.
Hey, what's up, man?
All right, first time caller. Love the show.
Thank you.
But as always, you're wrong.
Yeah, Kev.
Yeah.
Me?
Nah, Kenner.
No, what I do?
Okay, you just said that Powers is being bashed by fans. First of all, he's not being bashed, his dad is. Secondly, you said that Buckeye fans and Big Ten fans are hypocritical.
Yes, I fly that flag every day. I flew that flag before this situation even occurred.
I know. I listened to you.
Well played.
So here's my point. The last caller made a point, and you commented on it from the business side.
Yep.
Then you just made a comment about the Big Ten look like amateurs because they pulled the plug too soon. Financially driven, want kids on campus, get as much academic money as they can possibly get, what have you. So my point to all of that is, if they would have just sat back and waited, say, go to September 3rd at least, and then see. We can start the season in October. But they pulled the plug too soon, and we're talking about so many people affected, businesses, parents, the players, the coaches, and fans at least of all, but fans being affected by this decision that he made. Now, the optics doesn't look right. It's not necessarily that his decision was wrong. It was rushed, but the optics doesn't look right. The Big Ten footprint can't play football, but your son is playing football. It doesn't look good. And once again, I'm not bashing a kid. He's a grown man, 20 years old. He has his own decision to make. But when your kid is playing football this fall and the whole entire Big Ten footprint is not, it doesn't look good. And I don't think it bodes well for him going forward, because how do you get back that relationship, if there ever was one, with him being a new guy in town? How do you get back that relationship with these universities?
Well, I think that's shot already. Whether his kid plays or not, I think that's shot already. You know, it's going to take a lot of work to unbury himself.
But Tay, hold on. But Tay, he works for the presidents of the universities. The presidents also voted to pull the plug on the fall season too, though. So he's enacting what the presidents of the schools wanted to happen. He's the commissioner. He's behind what they say, just like Roger Goodell is behind what the owners want. He's the face of it. So he's doing what his bosses want him to do. Now, we don't know what he's telling his son. He could be telling his son till he's blue in the face, I don't want you playing football. It's dangerous, X, Y, and Z, X, Y, and Z. And his son could be like, nah, Dad, I'm playing. I'm trying to go to the league. Or I got a commitment that I made to the rest of my teammates. I'm going to be there for them.
I agree with that wholeheartedly, except for this point. The AD from Penn State said that she doesn't even know if there was a vote. And then you heard there was 12-2 vote prior to them canceling the season. Then you heard there was 8-6. We'll probably never know what the actual vote was if there even was a vote. I know that there was a report last night by Jeff Snook that they're trying to play, but that's been disputed by Clay. Clay Hall?
Clay Travis.
Whoever said that he texted Gene Smith, and Gene Smith said it's not true. So we'll never know any of this. My whole problem with the whole thing is they should have just waited out to see. And I believe that he believes the other three conferences won't play. So they went forward with the decision. But if they end up playing the SEC, the ACC, the Big 12 play football this fall, and they crown a champion, this could set the Big 10 back for a decade. It won't set Ohio State back. We just got a big-time recruit yesterday. I don't believe it'll hurt Ohio State at all. That brand is
agreed.
Is top-notch. But I think it will hurt the rest of the schools, especially if that report by Jeff Snook is true and Wisconsin and Michigan's president are not on board or having this 10-game season with 6 teams and everybody playing each other twice. Those schools will really be impacted because they're already a notch or two below Ohio State as it is. Ohio State's going to be fine coming out of this thing. It just, we have a team this year that can win the national championship. And that's what bothers most of the fans the most. I don't think it's necessarily that the season is canceled. It's the season is canceled on a year like this one.
Right. I definitely agree with that. Tay, I got one more question for you. If you had a son, would you be letting him play? Would you be advising him to continue to play football this year?
You know, if I had all the information that they have at their disposal, I could make an informed decision. But without having that information, I don't know. I know that there's been reports that the medical team up in Michigan said that this report about long-term heart condition is not true. And also Minnesota's Mayo Clinic said that the long-term effects of the coronavirus as far as the heart condition is not true. So if I had all the information that he has, and by the way, why hasn't he made that transparent? The information that they have at their disposal while they canceled this season and shared that with the other conferences who saying they're going to play.
Oh, yeah. We've been saying that. We've been saying that all week. They did that at the Pac-12. They let it be known what they found to their student body and their parents and everything like that. I'm with you 100% on that. Like, the transparency by the Big Ten commissioner has been suspect at best.
Right. And I don't think he's going to survive this one. But love the show, guys. Keep up the good work.
All right, man. Take care. I appreciate the call. But that's what I mean, the hypocrisy, right? Real quick. I'm not mad that, they pulled the plug on the season because, their health and the concerns. You pulled the plug on my national championship.
Yeah.
Like that's honestly what people are mad at. If Ohio State was if Ohio State was just a scrub program, we wouldn't be as passionate. Like, don't act like you care about the players' choices. When the players are demanding that they get paid and all these other things, we sit there and scoff and say, shut up and go enjoy your free education. But now the players' voices are asking for something that you're interested in, and now we care about the players' choices. That's where I'm coming from with the hypocrisy here. And Tay, not only calling you that, but you brought up a good point. You're right. Collectively, the perception is you took away a national championship from us, which, by the way, you weren't going to beat Clemson anyways because history tells us that. So anyways.
You're lucky we on cameras now because that's normally what I would be.
I'll
be giving you the other
31-0.
Oh, goodness.
All right, folks. We'll be back in a moment.
How dare you.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio. ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
For Partly sunny skies this afternoon with a high of 81 degrees. Tonight, mostly clear, down to a low of 54. And tomorrow, sunshine with a high of 83. I'm Leanna Ray for 1410 ESPN Radio.
Weather is brought to you by Cullet Propane. 98% of their customers recommend Cullet. If you wouldn't recommend your current supplier, check them out at culletpropane.com.
And now a game of Commercial Chicken, brought to you by Progressive, where we see how long Flo can go without talking about insurance. Ready? Go.
Hi. Guess we should talk about something. How's the vermicelli game in your town? Got any good Vietnamese restaurants? Vermicelli? Oh, it's a noodle. Very good. Drivers who switch to Progressive could save big.
Okay, you win. We can't help but save customers money. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Don't you love that feeling when you've just nailed your look? That's how it feels to use Stitch Fix, your personal styling service that delivers hand-picked clothes right to you. Stitch Fix is simple and convenient. Sign up in just a few minutes, and you can try out new styles right at home. And there's no subscription required ever. So, isn't it time you started nailing your look? Get started today at StitchFix.com. Stitch Fix, personal styling for everybody.
With the real estate market evolving, realtors stand ready to help. Realtors are an expert voice of reason in changing times, and they're working in new ways to guide you through virtual showings and safe closings, to be your ally in the fight for mortgage relief, to understand a neighborhood the way no algorithm can. That's the role of a realtor. This is a real estate season like no other, and realtors are ready. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
Napa know-how.
At Napa Auto Parts stores and Napa Auto Care centers, get a $25 prepaid Visa card when you get any Napa automotive battery. It's the best deal for some of the best batteries from some of the best car people around. But we might be a little partial. Anywho, pick up any Napa automotive battery and save $25. Do it yourself or have it done for you. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating Napa Auto Parts stores and Napa Auto Care centers while supplies last. Offer ends 8/31/20.
It's Danielle for CertaPro Painters. You know, I've used CertaPro Painters for pretty much everything that requires paint. And most recently, we had our entire house painted. And I mean the entire house. Gutters, shutters, windowsills, siding, and even the brick. Yes, everything. Talk about a phenomenal job. Exterior painting is the most effective way of boosting the curb appeal of your house. And our curb appeal, well, it went up to 100 plus. CertaPro Painters really are amazing. They know how to get the job done right and paint a wide variety of surfaces, including stucco, vinyl siding, aluminum, brick, shutters, doors, windows, and trim. They do interior, exterior, residential, commercial, and I promise you won't be disappointed. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated right here in your local community. You can schedule your free estimate online right now at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. Check them out now and get the job done right. CertaPro Painters, proven and trusted experts in painting.
The Montgomery County Veterans Service Commission is here to assist veterans during this COVID-19 pandemic. Even though we are not meeting face-to-face, we are here for you. We understand it is a difficult time with this virus threat and the strain of implementing social distancing. For those Montgomery County veterans who have lost their source of income due to their employers having to close or reduce their business hours due to the COVID-19 pandemic, you may be eligible for COVID-19 special financial relief assistance. Please contact the Montgomery County Veterans Service Commission at 937-225-4801 Monday through Friday for more information or to have an application sent to you. You can also visit mcvsc.org. The Montgomery County Veterans Service Commission is here to help Montgomery County veterans during the COVID-19 crisis. Call 937-225-4801 Monday through Friday or visit them online at mcvsc.org.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company helps you customize your home insurance so you only pay for what you need. Unlike things you paid for you didn't need, like the Vacnado 2000. A Wi-Fi connected vacuum that uploads Dust Bunny data to the cloud for real-time optimization. Whatever that means. But really, it's just a very expensive doggy chew toy. With Liberty Mutual, get customized home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Only pay for what you need. at libertymutual.com.
Everyone gets a family welcome at the JCPenney Friends and Family Sale. Save up to 50% across the store. Shop for him, her, juniors, home, and more because there's something for everyone. Plus, we're giving you one of our best coupons for even more savings. An extra 30% off in-store or online at jcp.com. On the go, pick up your order curbside. We're sharing the love. So come in this Thursday to Sunday. JCPenney. Offer valid 8/20 to 8/23. Conditions and exclusions apply. See store or jcp.com for details.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company helps you customize your home insurance so you only pay for what you need. Unlike things you paid for you didn't need, like the Vacnado 2000. A Wi-Fi connected vacuum that uploads Dust Bunny data to the cloud for real-time optimization. Whatever that means. But really, it's just a very expensive doggy chew toy. With Liberty Mutual, get customized home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
As you get back to business, small things can make a big difference, like marking safe distances with floor tape and posting reminders to wash hands. As always, Grainger is here to help, offering supplies and solutions for every industry. Free access to product specialists, 24/7 support, safety recovery guides, and more. It's part of our commitment to help you adapt and recover in these challenging times. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Staples helps your business go big with everything you need at amazing prices. From office essentials like paper and ink to health essentials like masks and sanitizer. Save big at Staples.
He's a former Buckeyes great and now a college football Hall of Famer. And don't forget about his 13 years of NFL experience playing for the Eagles, Dolphins, Jets, and the New England Patriots. He's Dayton's own Keith Byers. Hang out with him every Monday at noon on The Keith Byers Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. All sports, all the time. This is 1410 ESPN Radio. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. Back to the famous WING studios. Here's Justin Kinner and Kev Nash.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Justin Kinner, Kev Nash with you here on a Wednesday. And about an hour from now, we're going to hand it off to Tommy Thrall, the Cowboy. We got Reds baseball. Doubleheader coming up tonight. 5:05 will be your first pitch. 4:35 the pregame. Back-to-back 7-inning games. And I think that bodes well for the Reds. Luis Castillo will be on the mound for game one. And you have Trevor Bauer on game two. I like the Reds' chances of coming away, of course, with 2 wins tonight, hopefully. And we'll get into more of that coming up around the corner. The Reds made a couple roster adjustments today. They set their lineup, or they set their rotation, for the Cardinals coming up, because after they wrap up these games with the Royals, they got the Cardinals coming up around the corner. The Reds, 9-11 on the season. The Cubs 15-7. The Brewers are 10-11. So tonight, if the Reds can get 2 wins, they'll be right at 500. They'll be 11-11, right up there with the Brewers, and they'll be right behind the Chicago Cubs. And you got a series with the Cubs coming up around the corner. So we'll talk more Reds baseball coming up. I'll have your lineup for you here in just a little bit. We're getting a lot more Facebook reaction in regards to our conversation to open up the show. David Shaw, Kevin says, Justin, you keep telling the audience that the rest of the Power Five's time is coming. Why do you think that? And what is giving you so much confidence that this is going to happen? Let's be clear here. Like, what's changed in this country from a month ago, 2 months ago, 3 months ago, when we were saying, well, if the season started today, there would be no football? Nothing's changed. And let's be clear. The SEC and everyone else, and it's called the legal ramifications. Like, at the end of the day, Kevin Warren didn't pull the plug on the Big Ten because he's worried about the safety and the hearts of these student athletes. And I don't mean to paint him as this guy that is just heartless and doesn't care. The only thing Kevin Warren truly cared about was the liability that was going to be on his hands and those schools' hands as far as that's concerned. That same legal liability exists for the SEC, the ACC, and others. Mm-hmm. And right now, it's easy if you are a commissioner of those other conferences to pump your chest and try to be all cocky and act like it's wait till you get a little closer to the season and realize, oh man, here we go. For one, we're already seeing it. Carolina had Notre Dame had 150 students test positive for the virus. They're already sending them home. North Carolina had a huge outbreak on campus already. All right. I'm missing another one. There was another one. You were showing me a video of
Alabama.
Alabama. Same thing. Like, that's the thing. These regular students are going to be the reason why there is no games for these college athletes. And for one, I don't blame the students. All we have done all summer is basically say how pointless and useless and stupid the regular students are, that we need to take care of the student athletes and forget about them. You know what? I don't blame them one bit. My thing is, if I'm going to go, a family friend of mine, a family friend of ours posted their daughter. She's going to Toledo and she got all set up. And I saw her Facebook post today that said, she goes, "Oh, we're all set up. How long it is, we don't know, but we're going to have fun." And you know what? I liked it. And I did the applaud thing. You're right. For every regular student that is stepping foot on a campus right now, you're not going to get an entire school year of fun. So you better make sure, if you're only there a day, 2 days, 1 week, or 2 weeks, you better get all of your college parties and fun in now. Because I'm telling you right now, you're going to be learning remotely and from a laptop in your boring old little hometown with nothing to do here within the next couple weeks. So, and that's the thing. Like that's how I view it. That's how I view it. What?
Also, you got to think about it like this. They saw that from all the adults, because all the adults, especially in this town, they're at your local pub having a good old time. They're at your local bar having a good old time. So what are the college kids supposed to do when they get back to college, back to where they're comfortable in their environment, doing what they normally do? They're going to do exactly what they saw the adults in their life do. Mm-hmm. They're going to go out and have fun. So don't be mad at them. Be mad at yourself, because you did the exact same thing, not only while you were in college, but right now you're doing it. So don't be mad at the college kids. Don't be, "Oh man, they're ruining it. They're going to make sure that we don't have a season." No, you're part of the problem as well.
Yeah, you want the regular college students to behave so you can enjoy. So basically, like I said, all summer we've been saying, no, keep the students at home. Just let the athletes stay. And that's been me, by the way. But this whole time we've been saying, leave the students at home, let the athletes on campus. That's all we've been saying. And then it's like, okay, well, we're going to let the students on campus because the optics fit better. If, students are on campus, we could justify having sports. But then you know what we tell the students? You can't go to the games. Mm-hmm. Hey, we're allowed to have 20,000 fans at the games. Oh, good. The students can go. No. Season ticket holders are going to get those folks. Sorry. All you do is tell those students how pointless and useless they are. And to be honest with you, there are maybe 500 student athletes on campus, and there's 40 to 50,000 of the loser students that actually bring more money to that university than the athlete. The athletes bring a big chunk, but let's not act like the regular students, the loser students who bring nothing to the table, apparently, other than the paying customers. College is the only thing I know where you crap all over the paying customer. And then the students that you basically give away an education to, we bend over backwards to make sure that they're comfortable and safe, when the other ones are the ones actually paying all the money to keep your university open. That I don't blame these kids whatsoever, not one little bit. Not justifying it and saying that it's okay, but I completely understand where they're coming from. You told them all summer how pointless and useless they are, but now that they're on campus, you want to go around and say, "Please wear a mask so I can run this football. Please wear a mask so I can throw my football. Sign my petition, please. And will you just stay in your dorm and not come out so that I can go travel around the world and play football, please? So I can go make millions down the road." And just leave it if you need to go to biology class. But give me a break. This was never going to work from the very beginning, in my opinion. We'll see. Again, there could be a season coming up. If I had to bet money on it, I would not do it. I do not think there will be. I just don't. Hey, don't worry. We got the Browns and Bengals coming up. We got the embarrassing Bengals coming up. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. So the SEC, they smell blood in the water, Kevin. I found this article to be very interesting. This came out earlier this afternoon. Lane Kiffin, of course, new to the SEC, and Lane Kiffin is like a bad penny. He just always seems to, pop up somewhere. I don't get it. He's not his record is horrible. How he keeps getting opportunity after opportunity is just beyond me. But it is what it is. He has an opportunity, coaching right now in the SEC with Ole Miss. And Alex
second stint
by the Ole Miss football coach, according to this article by Alex Scarborough, says Ole Miss football coach Lane Kiffin says that players whose conferences have decided to postpone fall sports should be free to transfer without penalty. This did not take long at all, Kevin. I've been waiting for this. I don't know really where I sit with it. I have a huge problem with conferences taking away your season, and then those same kids you took their season away are watching other kids have a season. Mm-hmm. Now, if the entire college football world and the entire fall sports landscape got shut down, I disagree with this wholeheartedly. No, the entire sports landscape has been shut down. You should not be able to transfer all willy-nilly, to set yourself up for when sports return. But, and this is a huge but, if the SEC, like right now, what I'm waiting for is for the Big Ten to make one more final announcement. Hey, Justin Fields, we appreciate your 300,000 signature petition that you worked really hard for. Hey, parents, I really appreciate the fact that you took time to come all the way here to the Big Ten headquarters and try to get answers. But you want an answer? Here is the answer. We are sticking to our guns and we are not going to resume fall sports. We are continuing to move forward with planning for the spring. So at the second that announcement is made, that's where things are going to get interesting because Justin Fields is pushing hard. Why? Because he's loyal, because he wants to play. He wants to be a Buckeye. He wants to be a Buckeye in the fall, folks. And if he can't be a Buckeye, I mean, that's what he keeps saying. He wants to play this fall. He wants to play this fall. And we're not going to get into the Justin Fields transfer thing or not. I'm just using an example of him, Sean Wade, and others. They want to play football this fall. That's why their parents, that's why everyone is fighting so hard because they don't want to sit home on Saturdays and watch Alabama and LSU and everyone else be playing games. So the second that their message is clear, the Big Ten's message is clear that there will not be a season, that's when it's really, I mean, teams will be poaching left and right. Now, you're probably saying, and I've heard this excuse before, this argument before, rosters are set in college football. There's not a whole lot of openings out there, but I promise you this much, it's cutthroat in college. Mm-hmm. And we're not talking about a freshman or a sophomore that teams are going to go after. If they can go after a Justin Fields, how many SEC teams are Justin Fields away from being a national championship contender? Georgia, LSU, you know what I'm saying? Like the list goes on and on. Lane Kiffin's probably just sitting there chomping at the bit, waiting to go after whoever this is in the Big Ten and in the Pac-12 and everyone else. My thing is this: Justin Fields is actually saving the Big Ten. Not saving the Big Ten to have a season this fall. He is saving the Big Ten from getting poached because the season was pulled last Wednesday. Mm-hmm. So if the SEC, who does not start until September 26th, that would have given them a month and a half. Right now, we've delayed a week. And now hopefully this petition and the parents might buy the Big Ten another week. The closer and closer you get to September 26th, it's going to make it very difficult for quarterbacks and other big players to transfer. But if they transfer today, Kevin, if they transferred last week, I'm not saying Justin Fields would know a playbook like the back of his hand in a month and a half, but you know what? He would know just enough to be dangerous. You know what I'm saying? So all these stalling tactics, all of these, these fights to get the season back, it's honestly helping the Big Ten. It's not helping the Big Ten to get the season back. It's buying the Big Ten time from the other conferences coming in to poach the talent out of the conference. That's how I view it.
I agree. You look at guys
what was that?
Like,
what'd you say? Wow, that sounded weird.
You look at how Jonah Jackson transferred from Rutgers to Ohio State last year because he wanted to play on a big-time team, and he got drafted in the NFL and everything like that. I could see guys like that transferring from the Big Ten to other schools, like guys that are seniors that have already put their work in and are potentially going to be playing on the next level, and they want to put more tape out there for the NFL scouts to look at. I don't see a Sean Wade, I don't see a Justin Fields transferring to another school, and I definitely don't see underclassmen transferring to other schools. I see those guys that are fringe fourth round picks transferring to a school that they can get in there and play right away, and in a position that you can get into right away, like a linebacker, like an offensive lineman, like a running back. I really just find it difficult to believe that a quarterback can transfer this late in the game and really make the impact that we're expecting them to make, like Justin Fields did this year. But your point is, guys are trying to be poached, and that's exactly what's going to happen. And if you think there's poaching going on now, wait till recruiting season comes around, because that's when it's really going to be taking effect. SEC is really going to be pushing that narrative, as it just means more if they're able to complete a full season.
We talked about that during the commercial break. And I'm not trying to be too funny here, but we already hate the SEC. I mean, the SEC is hated. And I told you, I was like, man, what are we going to do come college football season? It's going to be weird coming in because we're so used to Mondays coming in and even the Sunday morning show. We're so used to immediately reacting to a Buckeye football game, whether it was a boring game or not. It was just there was and half the time, because of the college football playoff being as awesome as it is, you're just as fired up as your team's competition. Yeah. We're watching Clemson and Bama the way we are watching our Buckeyes. Maybe not with the same thrill. We're hate watching the others, but you're watching them. I don't think Buckeye fans are going to be watching much football this fall, because
I don't think so either.
The second they turn it on, and I don't blame them, it's going to be hard for me too, because every time I watch Alabama get a big win, every time I watch LSU or Clemson or Notre Dame or whoever, Georgia, watch them have success, I'm going to be like, man, Yeah, they're acting like hard asses now, but I guarantee you Ohio State would be right there with them. That's why it's going to be hard. But if you think the SEC was hated before, my goodness. Look out. By the way, for all you Buckeye fans, you're asking a lot of questions about things that we have heard surrounding the Big Ten and everything else going on behind the scenes. I'll tell you this, coming up at 4 o'clock, we are going to be hearing from Austin Ward with Letterman Row. I'm excited to talk with him coming up around the corner. Austin Ward will join us coming up at 4 o'clock, 15 minutes from now. He covers Ohio State football with Letterman Row. He has all the behind the scenes information and the answers to some of those questions. Maybe not set answers, but he could at least point you in the right direction. Austin Ward, Letterman Row coming up at the top of the hour. LeBron James or Dame Lillard? Who was more impressive last night, Kev? We'll discuss next.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
At Fisher Investments, we do things differently, and other money managers don't understand why.
Because our way works great for us.
But it may not work for your clients. That's why Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, obligated to put clients first. It's the highest standard for a financial advisor.
So what do you provide? Cookie cutter portfolios like the rest of us?
No cookie cutter portfolios here. Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to meet each client's goals and needs.
But you do sell investments that earn you high commissions, right? And make commissions when you make trades for your clients?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission investment products, and we never earn commissions on trades.
So what's in it for you?
Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when our clients do better. When it comes to helping clients achieve a comfortable retirement, we're clearly different. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
You knew the risks when you decided to drive drunk. There could be a crash. People could get hurt or killed. But that didn't stop you, did it? You knew you could get arrested. You could incur huge legal expenses, and you could possibly even lose your job. You were well aware of the consequences of driving drunk. But one thing's for sure. You were wrong when you said it was no big deal. Drive sober or get pulled over. This message brought to you by NHTSA.
Hey, Dew fans, it's the year of Dew at Speedway, the #1 stop for Dew. Loaded with epic promotions, exclusive Dew surprises, and an exciting new flavor from Mountain Dew. Get supercharged with Mountain Dew Spark. Exhilarate your taste buds with the exclusive new raspberry lemonade flavor. And you can only get it for a limited time, only at Speedway. So what are you waiting for? Race into Speedway now to try Mountain Dew Spark and celebrate the year of Dew.
And now a game of Commercial Chicken, brought to you by Progressive, where we see how long Flo can go without talking about insurance. Ready? Go.
Hi. Guess we should talk about something. How's the vermicelli game in your town? Got any good Vietnamese restaurants? Vermicelli? Oh, it's a noodle. Very good. Drivers who switch to Progressive could save big.
Okay, you win. We can't help but save customers money. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Don't you love that feeling when you've just nailed your look? That's how it feels to use Stitch Fix, your personal styling service that delivers hand-picked clothes right to you. Stitch Fix is simple and convenient. Sign up in just a few minutes, and you can try out new styles right at home. And there's no subscription required ever. So, isn't it time you started nailing your look? Get started today at StitchFix.com. Stitch Fix, personal styling for everybody.
Have you been out to play golf at Meadowbrook yet? You probably know by now that Meadowbrook Country Club is now Meadowbrook at Clayton and open to the public. Meadowbrook is rated one of the top 25 golf courses in Ohio. Beautiful country club classic golf now available to everyone. Get your golf buddies together and book a tee time and come out and play. And stop in at the grill for great food and drinks. Check us out online at meadowbrookatclayton.com. Meadowbrook Country Club is now open to the public. Come out and play.
I'm thinking of you. What kinder words could be more meaningful at a time like this?
At First Florist and Greenhouses, we know everyone is coping the best they can. And when hugs are not possible, a kind word or gesture can bring comfort and a smile. So today, make that phone call or send a heartfelt note to someone you care about. And if you'd like to send a fresh bouquet of flowers, we can help with that. We're First Florist and Greenhouses at 1306 Troy Street in Dayton, a local family-owned business since 1905. And we're thinking of you.
It's the summer clearance event at New Carlisle Chrysler. I'm Chris Toby. At New Carlisle, our primary focus is your safety and ours. We are practicing safe social distancing. Probably like you, we hate it, but we are wearing our masks and we are diligently cleaning the dealership. If you're more comfortable handling your sales and service needs from home, we can help you. Visit TobyAuto.com where you can complete all aspects of the vehicle purchase, including financing and trade appraisals, schedule service, or simply get a question answered. Most importantly, stay safe out there. We will get through this together.
Save big money on your next project with 11% off everything right now at Menards. Update your flooring with Tarkett Vinyl Plank, designed to outperform the rigors of daily wear. Vinyl Plank is waterproof, making it perfect for kitchens and bathrooms. Now, all Tarkett Vinyl Plank is 11% off. Start saving today with 11% off everything. Prices are good until August 22nd. Savings are a mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company helps you customize your home insurance so you only pay for what you need. Unlike things you paid for you didn't need, like that much-needed 125-inch flat-screen TV.
It's hurting my eyes a lot.
For your 100-square-foot bedroom.
My neck isn't so much stiff as it's completely stuck.
With Liberty Mutual, get customized home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
Uh-oh, I'm seeing color splotches.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Total Wine & More is pleased to announce Points with a Purpose, our way of saying thanks by investing in the communities we serve. Now through September 13th, collect 5 times points on thousands of wines and spirits. For every point earned, a matching donation will be made to local charities, up to $2 million in total. A point for you is a point for your community. That's Points with a Purpose. Come shop with us today or visit TotalWine.com. See website for details.
Staples helps your business go big with everything you need at amazing prices. From office essentials like paper and ink to health essentials like masks and sanitizer. Save big at Staples.
All sports, all the time. This is 1410 ESPN Radio. College football playoffs, Browns, Bengals, Buckeyes, and more. Catch the Keith Byers Show Mondays at noon on 1410 ESPN Radio. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. Back to the famous WING studios. Here's Justin Kinner and Kev Nash.
All right, everybody, we welcome you back. I'm Justin Kinner with Kev Nash on ESPN 1410 Wing AM. I was pumped about yesterday. Was a good day. It still sucks that there's no Big Ten football, but 2 things happened yesterday that I really like in the sports world that just really made me feel good. For one, the announcement of course, high school football being able to resume. I still have my doubts and concerns, as does everybody, I'm sure, but at the end of the day, it's nice to finally get some positive news. Regardless of your opinion of Governor DeWine or what have you, the bottom line is every time that man opens his mouth, he is unfortunately having to give us some kind of news that either ticks us off or frustrates us. And again, I'm not trying to get into the political side of that, but it's true. Every time he has to make an announcement, it's something that's usually just frustrating us, stressing us out, or whatever. It has everything to do with this virus. So the fact that he came out yesterday and signed off on contact sports and all high school athletics moving forward this season, I thought that was great because, Kev, think about this. Think back to your athletics days. And again, I know you look at me and you're like, oh man, he had to be, I wonder how many offers he got.
First team All-American.
You know how many times my coach offered me to leave the gym? I'm going to offer you a chance to leave practice early. In fact, practice is at 5. You don't have to be here till 8. How about that? But these kids have been doing conditioning, 2-a-days, just going through, basically hell and back during these practices. And usually you mentally get through it because the light at the end of the tunnel is running out onto the field, both sides of the stadium full of screaming fans. The band is playing, the smell of popcorn and pizza and hot dogs, everything in the air. You hear the cheerleaders, you hear your friends in the stands, you hear your parents and your family. There is no better feeling in the world than high school football running out onto the field, especially when you got a good team and it's fun and there's expectations. That's what makes it worth it going through everything. But when you are going through all of that and you don't even know if you're going to get to play, that's when it really becomes difficult. So now I feel so happy for these kids right now and these coaches, because now when these kids are just, putting their body through so much during these practices, now there's at least there's an end goal. Now there's light at the end of the tunnel. I feel good for them. I feel good for these kids. I'm happy for them. And now they can have a little fun. Sure, the season's going to be different. Limited fans in the stands, all of that. But, I feel really good for these kids, and I'm happy for them. Happy for the coaches, the athletic directors, because they put up with a lot. They put up with so much over the last couple months, and to be able to kind of move forward with the plan now, good for them. I'm just happy for all the student athletes, the coaches, teachers, everybody.
Happy for everybody involved, especially the kids, because it's a lot of kids out there put in a lot of hard work in the summertime, and the only time they get to show off the hard work that they did is on Friday nights. And for them potentially not to have that opportunity to show the hard work that they put in sucks. But now they have a 6-game season, and they're going to go out there and show what they really put in that work for. And hopefully we can get through an entire high school football season. All the kids can have a great season, have fun, and move forward.
All right. And again, we'll touch on more of that. We're going to be catching up with some local coaches here over the coming weeks. Again, the season just around the corner, as crazy as that sounds. And so we're looking forward to that, but we'll focus on that more coming up. So last night, LeBron James had a historic night, had a tough night. Lakers lost, but he had a great night. LeBron James becomes the first player in NBA history with 20 plus points, 15 plus rebounds, and 15 plus assists in a playoff game. Never been done before. And I say all of that, great, pat on my back. But last night, while everyone is drooling over Dame Lillard, who, by the way, is very good. I'm not going to try to convince you that he's not good. There is nothing to try to convince you otherwise of, but let's be, Dame time. I see what you're doing over there, but let's be clear. I don't know about you, but when are you a sports movie fan? Do you like sports movies? Okay, I'm not, because every sports movie out there has the same, the same process. You have the happy beginning, then the trials and tribulations come in the middle, then they overcome it, and they're holding a trophy at the end. That gets boring. I get tired of seeing the same thing over and over and over. One of my favorite movies growing up was, and again, it's not a big popular, Coach Carter. You know why I love
that movie?
You know why I loved Coach Carter?
Because they lost.
Because at the very end they lost. It mixed it up a bit because they got
Crane.
me. I thought I'm the real Ty Crane. I'm the real Ty Crane. Yeah, exactly. So no, they mixed it up a bit. We're going to keep going. By the way, we're going to keep going. We're not going to this. Debbie, we're going to the break. We're not going to the break. We're going to go to the break when I say here in a moment. My favorite movie was that because I'm watching the clock's ticking down. Fans are on their feet. They're moving the ball around. You could just feel it. Oh, this guy's so about to hit a game-winning shot. It's going to be one of those great feel-good moments to close out a game. And then guess what? He misses. And then Ty Crane goes from, I'm the real Ty Crane, to, high-fiving. And, but he's good. He's going on. The good team, the feel-good story came to an end. They lost. And you know what? I like when you get to see something that you don't get to see often. I like when you get to see something that is rare. And in sports movies, all you ever see is, good positive start, trials, tribulations, and all the problems. And then they overcome it and they win a championship and everyone's all good friends and blah, blah, blah. I've seen that movie before. And that's why I liked Coach Carter, because it had a different ending. It wasn't your same old, same old. And that's where I'm at with Dame Lillard. Oh, my goodness, a guard that can score? Wow. Man, I haven't seen that since James Harden. Oh, man, you know who I haven't seen since James Harden? Oh, Russell Westbrook can score too. Steph Curry? Oh, he could score too. Every guard can score. Every guard can score. And sure, some can score better than others. Some can score better than others.
How about
that's awesome.
KCP?
I'm not putting Caldwell Pope. Are you really trying to put him in the same conversation?
You said every guard. He's a guard.
Dude, the names I just brought up. The names I just brought up are like legit names, not Condavious Caldwell Pope or whatever the hell his name is. I hope I got that right. By the way, the guy that had to have the house arrest bracelet to go to practice the first cup. That was so friggin' funny when he had to do that. But anyways, my point is that Damian Lillard is that same sports movie that you watch all the time that it's like, okay, he's, this is good. I like this movie, but I've seen it before. LeBron is that Coach Carter finish, that ending that it's rare when you see something happen like that because it just never happens. LeBron, his greatness. Like, let's be clear about last night. For one, he's 17 years in the league, and he's the best passer in the league. And he's never been the best passer in the league, and he's now the best passer in the league. And he pulled down last night 23 points. He scored 23 points. He pulled down 18 rebounds. He had 16 assists. Now, let's be clear here. He had 16 assists on a night that the Los Angeles Lakers couldn't make a damn bucket. He had 16 assists on the night that the Lakers only made 34 field goals. He assisted on 16 of the 34 field goals. The Lakers lost 193. Imagine if they didn't have LeBron James, just how much more the Lakers would have lost by. LeBron's greatness, there's nothing that comes close to it. Here's the problem. We all hate greatness. We hate greatness. For whatever reason, we don't appreciate greatness when it's there. We hated the Golden State Warriors. Why? Because they were too good. We hated it. Right? We hated LeBron James when he was with the Miami Heat. Why? They were too good. We got tired of seeing LeBron and the Cavs in the NBA Finals every year.
You hate Michael Jordan.
No, that's a conversation for later. We hate the Yankees growing up. We hate Tom Brady. We root for Tom Brady to fail. Why? Why aren't we excited when we witness greatness? Now, Damian Lillard, a great guard, but I could turn off Damian Lillard's game and turn on another game, and I could watch another great guard. I can't turn off LeBron James and the Lakers and tune into another LeBron James. There's only one LeBron James. He is the best player in the NBA today, and when it's all said and done, he is the best player in the NBA history. That's an argument that we can get into later. But my point is last night, while everyone was drooling over Damian Lillard, LeBron James dropped 23 points, pulled down 18 rebounds and 16 assists. And he did it effortlessly. It was unbelievable. He had 16 assists on a night where his team only made 34 field goals, shot 35% from the floor. And also a team that is, they're the worst three-point shooting team in the bubble, in the league. And what did they shoot last night from three? I don't even have that in front of me right here. It was bad. So Kuzma's 1 for 5, Anthony Davis 0 for 5. And get your ass on the block. What is wrong with you? I know that you're capable of shooting threes, and that's what bigs do now. They shoot threes. But the Lakers had 2 or 3 7-footers on the floor. The fact that they were playing, both 7-footers on the floor at the same time.
You said, modern basketball.
And that kills. And that's why. And how many times in baseball do teams like the Reds, how many times do they lose because, they're playing the way the baseball is supposed to be played today? Well, if you played baseball the way it was supposed to be played, you would be probably in first place right now. But that's a conversation for later. Kevin, last night to me, LeBron James was the most impressive player on the floor, but you like boring. You like the same old, same old. You like Damian Lillard. He's a guard that can score. Wow. Turn on. What game's on now? What game's on now? Oh, look at that. Look, Kawhi Leonard. Can't wait to watch him score later tonight. Can't wait to watch Paul George score later tonight. Can't wait to watch Luka. He's separated himself. He's kind of different. He's kind of rare. We've seen the guards that can score. I've seen this movie. It ends the same as every other guard. No championship. Next, LeBron the GOAT. The best there was, the best there is, and the best there ever will be.
We saw a guard named Michael Jordan score a lot and win a championship. We saw a guard and Kobe Bryant score a lot and win championships. So,
but those are great guards. Like Damian, he's an 8 seed. He's about to be. The Lakers are still winning this series.
I do believe that the Lakers.
So he's just a good guard. He's just a good guard. He's just.
Okay, so
talk. You're up.
So at first, I want to make sure we're clear that we're answering this question. We're not answering the question of who's a better all-time player, right? We're asking who.
We already know that answer.
Yeah. So we're answering who had a better game last night.
Yes.
The answer to the question is Dame Dollar. Dame Lillard had a better. He had a better game than LeBron James last night. I don't need to look at stats to tell me this happened, that happened. I watched the entire game from tip off to the end of the game. And in crunch time, as everybody knows, really the only thing that matters in the NBA is the last 5 minutes of the game. In the last 5 minutes of the game, Dame Dollar took over. Dame Dollar hit the three to tie it up, hit the three to put him up, assisted on the play to stretch the lead to 6, while LeBron James had 2 turnovers and missed 2 free throws.
That's you bring up the 2 missed free throws. By the way, Dame 10 for 10 from the free throw line. That's great. But Dame does what Dame does. He scores. He doesn't get anyone else involved.
Yes, he
doesn't
does.
make anyone else better. He doesn't make anyone else better. Last night, 3 assists.
When
3 assists on the night.
When he's doubled and kicks the ball to someone else and they make a play, that's not making people better. I'm not
that
looking.
Happened 3 times.
I'm not looking at.
That only happened 3 times.
I'm not looking at alley oops. Like that is like this whole triple double stuff is so far overblown. Like if you want to look at triple doubles, Chris Paul had a triple-double last night, and they got smoked. I'm not looking at stats. I'm looking at how they play the game.
You said they, though. We're talking about the individuals.
I'm talking about looking at how players play the game of basketball. When a guy has to be doubled at half court, he's opening up the floor for everybody else. He's making the game easier for guys underneath the basket like Nurkic because they're doubling him so high. Like a normal guy is not getting doubled 40 feet out. Only Dame and only Steph
Curry, Klay Thompson.
No, you're not doubling Klay 40 feet out.
Steph's on the floor.
You're not doubling Klay 40 feet out.
Watch Klay when he gets his own team.
Because Klay is not the supreme ball handler that Steph and Dame are. These are the only 2 guys that you are doubling that far out. You probably a double Trae Young that far out once he gets a little bit better. But those are the 2 guys in the NBA that you double 40 feet away from the basket. He makes the game easier for everybody else. And it's like a hockey assist, basically, is like what they do a ton of the time. They basically spread the floor. When they double him, he kicks it to Melo, and then he swings it to Gary Trent Jr. So technically it's a Melo assist, but it's really coming from Dame because he's the one doubled. So last night he had a superior game. Yeah, LeBron balled out, but LeBron controlled the tempo of the game because Portland wants to play the game in the 120s. The Lakers want to play the pace of the game in around this range. This was a Lakers game to win, and the Lakers were up 6. Boom, 35-footer. Boom, 40-footer. Boom, an assist. We're up. And boom, a steal and another swing for another 3. We're up 6 and it's lights out. And it's lights out just like that because the ability to make shots, which the Lakers cannot make shots, and neither can LeBron last night. He was 1 for 5 from 3-point land, but that's really not his game. His game is getting others involved. But, that's the LeBron James offense. People rag on AD for shooting threes, but you know who else shot a ton of threes when he played with LeBron James, when he used to play on the block? Kevin Love. He used to play on the block, but then he plays with LeBron James. He's jacking up threes.
Well, then Kevin Love also lost a lot of weight, and you couldn't put his skinny ass on the block anymore.
But I'm saying this is the LeBron James offense, and it's fine because it's well worth it because you get what you get. You get a lot of wins, and you get a lot of butts in the seats, and you have 9 times out of 10, you're going to have a chance to win a championship. Also, Chris Bosh was on the block when he was with Toronto. When he played with LeBron James, he was out there jacking up threes because that is the LeBron James offense. You got to take the good with the bad. Like they was missing shots last night. That's the good with the bad. But for my money, last night, after watching the entire game, Dame had a better game last night.
Not even close. Nope. He didn't. If the Portland Trailblazers lose last night, we're not talking about Dame Lillard's 34 points. Good for him. 34 points, a couple rebounds, couple assists. I mean, look, we've seen this movie. We've seen it all the time. It's not that impressive. Every guard can score 30 if you let them shoot. How many times did he shot? 21 times. Actually, that's pretty efficient. I'll give him that. That is very efficient. 10 to 10 from the free throw line helps. But LeBron James last night, again, we're going to sit there and say triple doubles are overrated when you're dominating in the scoring category, you're dominating in the rebounds category, you're dominating in the assist category, and you bring up the fourth quarter. LeBron had a different kind of clutch fourth quarter because people think you're only clutch if you're putting the ball in the bucket, which, by the way, he did have 8 points in the fourth quarter last night, which, by the way, also, and I went back and counted, he had 7 passes that were to wide open shooters that missed those shots. That if they normally knock those shots down the way they're supposed to, LeBron would have, he had 16 assists. He would have finished with 18, 19, 20 assists last night if shooters in clutch time knock it down. LeBron James also gets a lot of that same defensive attention as Dame Lillard. Maybe not as far out. No, okay, that's great. There's not many players that do get doubled that far out. There's two. But also, no one is taking either of those two players who get doubled that far out after the three-point line over LeBron James.
You said last night. You didn't say career. So you keep mixing career, what his career is and who he is as a player versus last night.
Then what in the living hell does Steph Curry have to do with last night? You keep bringing up Steph Curry.
I'm pointing out a fact that those are the two only guys that you need to double 40 feet out. I mean, you want to bring up stats. LeBron was -3 in the plus minus, and Dame was plus 19.
Oh, now you're Mr. Stat Guy.
I'm just saying. I said you brought up stats.
Stat Guy. No,
you brought up stats. So I'll counter you.
No. You're Mr. like outside the bubble stat, like the plus minus. No, get your calculators out, folks. Kevin's teaching advanced, advanced biology, advanced algebra.
He had 18 rebounds.
Those are real stats. Yes, those are real stats. Not this.
You know what's also a real stat? 100 to 93. That's a real stat.
You know, it's also another stat. So you're going to sit there and overlook every win that the Lakers have had all season with LeBron leading the way and dominating the way. LeBron is the MVP. He's the best damn player in the league every single year. Should have been the MVP. And they're going to go to Giannis Antetokounmpo because he's a better story. Giannis Antetokounmpo will be better next year than he is this year, but because people will be bored with him, he'll be put in the same category as Russell Westbrook and everyone else. James Harden, we've seen this. James Harden, everyone loved him because it was something new and different. Then he got his MVP, and it's like, well, okay, we've seen that. Russell Westbrook averages a triple-double. We're going to give him the MVP. We've seen that already. Now he's looked at, now we just, bitch and complain about everything that he does to tear teams. LeBron James is the best player in the league. It's not even close. I will take LeBron over Dame Lillard.
I didn't say
anything.
You said the game.
You're bringing up about what Dame Lillard did last night.
You said the game.
Yes,
that's why I asked you that before we even started. I said you said who had a better game last night. I said Dame. I didn't.
But we both answered that. But then you start bringing up other players outside that, like Steph Curry, like he had anything to do with last night's game.
Yeah, he had something to do with it because
Steph Curry wasn't even there.
Steph Curry revolutionized the NBA by shooting 40 feet bombs.
Well, I thought we were about last night's game. What does that have to do with last night's game?
That's what I'm talking about. Dame and his ability to shoot long range shots.
Dame
time.
Damn it, we gotta go. LeBron's the GOAT. Great. Damn it.
What?
I got all flustered there. You messed it up, Kevin. Damn it. We got Austin Ward with Letterman Row next. I hate you.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Got a project to do? Use the right equipment and rent from Arts Rental Equipment. With over 50 years experience, Arts has the best selection, delivery, and service, plus 14 Arts locations. Work smart. Rent from Arts.
At Advance Auto Parts, we have same-day delivery, same-day contact-free curbside pickup, and same-day in-store pickup to keep you going. And we have the right oil, right filter, right price every day to keep your vehicle going. Get 5 quarts of full synthetic Valvoline, Mobile One, Pennzoil Platinum, or Castrol Edge with a Fram titanium oil filter for just $33.99. Advance your auto at Advance Auto Parts and participating CarQuest locations. See store for details.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Oil change coming up? We can help you out. Right now, you can get 5 quarts of Pennzoil high mileage motor oil and an STP oil filter for just $27.99. And if you need it fast, we can help you get it fast. Whether it's at home with our next day delivery or in store and curbside with our free same day pickup. The choice is yours. Getting the job done just got easier. Restrictions and details at AutoZone.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Hello? Hello, Mrs. Kuntz. It's the back left tire of your RV calling. Wanted to give you a heads up that I'm going to blow out on the highway later today.
Wait, what?
Says here I'm going to burst in the middle of rush hour.
Well, can we reschedule?
Sorry, our policy states that once we're scheduled to burst, we have to. We really pride ourselves on our commitment to blowouts.
RV owners can't schedule when things go wrong on the road. That's why there's Progressive, a leader in RV insurance.
Do you want a text confirmation when I burst?
Think I'll notice.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Getting to work is a little different right now. Your new commute may be to the kitchen, or the couch, or the basement. If your commute has changed, you could be saving money on car insurance. With pay-per-mile car insurance from Allstate, you get the same reliable coverage you'd expect, but only pay for the miles you drive. Drive less, save more with Allstate. Visit allstate.com or call an agent for a quote.
Price also includes a daily rate, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and its affiliates.
It's time for some straight talk. You know what covering your bases is in baseball, right? Making sure you have no holes in your defense. Well, that's the kind of coverage you get with Straight Talk Wireless. And you'll pay up to 50% less than big carriers and still use their same networks. Just $45 a month gets you the unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data and 2G. No contract, no mystery fees. Fully covering your bases for 50% less. Straight Talk Wireless, only at Walmart. Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
Contractors, use the right equipment for your project and rent from Arts Rental Equipment. No storage, no maintenance, no hassle. 14 Arts locations and online at artsrental.com. Work smart. Rent from Arts.
If you're driving less, you could be saving more on car insurance. Save money with pay-per-mile insurance from Allstate. Call a local Allstate agent and get a quote.
WYNG 1410 Dayton, Dayton's ESPN Radio.
See, I figured it out. When I said LeBron's the GOAT, he's the greatest GOAT. Like, MJ's the GOAT, but LeBron is the GOAT. He's the greatest GOAT.
Okay.
Greatest of all time.
Okay.
Dame Lillard. Oh, it's a GOAT. He could score.
Score a lot.
Oh.
Score a lot.
James Harden can score a lot. Steph Curry can score a lot. Kevin Durant can score a lot. A lot of guys can score a lot. A lot of guys don't have rings. Dame Lillard won't have a ring.
We'll see.
He's been in Zach like, this is the only year he's been doing that. He's been clutch for a long time. He's been and he's always, and the story's the same every year. Watching the playoffs at home.
What are you talking about? He's with the Western Conference Finals last year.
Or watching the finals at home is what I should say. The real
so every time I got my rebuttal, you got a different skew on it. Oh, you didn't make it to the finals. You are Skip Bayless.
It's called factualizing everything.
Skip Bayless.
I'm helping you be better.
Okay.
That's an egomaniac way of looking at it. All right. Earlier today, and by the way, speaking of the NBA, ESPN put out its recent NBA mock draft. Obi Toppin, ESPN mock drafters, Jonathan Givony, who we've had on the show in the past. In fact, we'll have him on closer to draft time. They have Obi Toppin going number 6 to the New York Knicks. Stay away
Too
from them.
bad. Too bad.
Stay away from the Knicks. Stay away from the Cavs. Stay away from the Pistons.
Hawks.
The Hawks. Yeah, he ain't going to the Warriors if they have the number 1 overall pick. But man, the Hawks would be him and Trae Young.
Yes, sir.
That'd be awesome. All right, Austin Ward with Letterman Row. He now joins us. Austin, I appreciate your time. How are you?
Busy, Justin, but plenty of time for you, my friend.
Absolutely. I appreciate it. Thank you. And look, I mean, obviously, you're getting a lot of the same things thrown your way. Now, there's so many different rumors and sources out there, and everyone has a different take of what's going on behind the scenes. And that's very tough to figure out exactly what's going on. You have more connections than I do, obviously, which is why I'm going to you. With where we are at right now, with everything going on, you have the Justin Fields petition. You have the parents who have stormed Normandy, basically, who have gone to the Big Ten headquarters in Illinois and Chicago. Where are we at right now? I mean, obviously, we know the end game of what they're trying to accomplish, but how realistic is it in trying to get Big Ten football back this fall?
I would say very unrealistic. And the people that I've talked to that would be involved in the decision at multiple schools, not just Ohio State, have said that the odds of the presidents changing their mind and reinstating the season would be 0. They don't even leave the door open at all. Now, that's not a prediction going forward. That's just where we are at this very moment. And I would love for that number to change, but I don't think that the decisions that drove them to make that call or the situation on the ground has changed really for them, other than the outcry from players and coaches and demanding more answers. I don't think they're going to give in to that pressure that, there's now saliva testing, which is really a big deal that could potentially allow them to play in the spring. Maybe it would have been a big deal for September 26th, but the president's made up their mind for what they view are good reasons, and I don't think that Justin Fields, as powerful as that voice has been, 5 or 6 different schools with their families asking, the schools are about to have, some of them already have their kids back on campus. You see what's happened in North Carolina and Notre Dame. I think that's really got the school president's attention. They made that decision, and I don't think that they really have great incentive in their mind to go back and change it. I'm not saying that they made the right call. I think delay was the right call, but I think what I'm being told about for the presidents is that they feel like they made the right call.
So presidents. Austin. You have the commissioner of the Big Ten who's getting a lot of the finger pointing, some pointers, some others, and people are not happy right now. Kevin Warren. So you said you brought up the presidents. Who's more responsible for this ultimate decision? Is it Kevin Warren or is it the presidents? Who's more to point the finger at in regards to why the season is not kicking off, while the likes of the ACC, Big 12, and SEC are about to do here in the coming weeks?
Yeah, I would say that there is some blame to go around for both. I think the decision to cancel, postpone, however they want to phrase it, that's driven by the presidents. And I know that they've said that they didn't take an official vote. My understanding is that wasn't necessary, that the majority understanding was that they needed to proceed with that way, or they wouldn't have made such a drastic decision. For transparency's sake, I wish that they had taken a head count and got that on the record so that we all knew where every school president stood, because they've not all, Christina Johnson hasn't actually even started yet, the full-time president for Ohio State, which is, crazy that all this is happening, at this time, without her around in Columbus. But so from that perspective, I think the decision, you need to talk to the presidents. Now, the way that it was implemented, the timing, the fact that Ohio State practiced Monday and Tuesday of last week, after I was told that decision had already been made on that Sunday night call, the lack of explanation on Tuesday during his BTN interview, the lack of a spring plan, the lack of clear focus on what they can and can't allow in the fall in terms of practices and workouts. Well, you can talk to Kevin Warren about that. We'd all like to. If you want to blame him for the implementation of that plan, have at it, because I think that there is some definite blame for him to go there. But in terms of actually making the cancellation, I think you have to look primarily at the school presidents.
A few weeks ago, back when the initial decision was made to pull the plug on the season, I know that they had come out and said that it's not a pulling the plug on the season per se, it's a postponement to the fall. In my opinion, I don't envision a fall season happening or a January winter season happening. Was some of this a PR involved in regards to maybe softening the blow of saying, okay, it's less aggressive to say postponing the season to spring than it is to just say no football for 2020 or early 2021?
I think there's probably a lot of factors that go into that. And one of them is if you're going to have players, Joel Klatt brought up this potential loss of value lawsuit yesterday that players might file. Well, if you've still given them an opportunity to play in the spring, then that helps shield you from that sort of liability. I'm not saying that it's perfect, but I'm saying that, the Big Ten, when they're looking at their options, if you're going to deny maybe transfers to other schools that are trying to play in the fall, well, you say that they still had an opportunity to play in the spring. Maybe that keeps them from going for instant eligibility. A lot of the things that I'm talking about right now sound kind of gross, like that, it's to protect the Big Ten schools, maybe financially, to keep the rosters intact. And there are elements of this that are really unsavory. But I think that part of it, it's all designed with the fact that they believe the other conferences are going to have to cancel eventually. They thought that they would be on board with doing that last week, not just the Pac-12, and that everybody could move on to start planning for January and February, because they have hundreds of millions of dollars at stake, not just Ohio State, but every school across the country. So you want to try and have games to get your money back so you can fund the rest of the athletic department. You still deep down want to see as many players as possible playing this year. They have tons of incentive to do so that I don't think is just purely PR, but there are also 100 complications for trying to play in January. It's kind of cold in the Big Ten. It's cold. Yeah, you said it. You'd have to probably play in some domes, and you have to figure out practice schedules, because that you couldn't just start in January. Even if you started in March, you still have to start practice in January. So all these other things still are in play. It's really hard. But I think I get that people ask, well, it'd be really hard to play in the fall too. Why not just make that effort? I don't know. It's possible that they don't play in either season. And I think that presidents are willing to do that. And it's not what I want. Justin, I know it's not what you want, but we don't get to make that decision.
All right, we got Austin Ward, Letterman Rowe, covers the Ohio State Buckeyes with us here on 1410 Wing Live, presented by Arrowhead Tax Service. With that being said, I mean, we have a bunch of questions and we don't have a lot of answers, and I feel like some of the coaches don't either. If you're Ryan Day, I think you retweeted this earlier, James Franklin was talking from Penn State, talking about you only get 12 hours a week with your team now if you're not playing the Big Ten and Pac-12. What's next for Ryan Day and the Buckeyes? How do you approach this? You're going to have players who are maybe not as motivated now. It's depressing to be, every time you put a helmet on or pads on, you're thinking, why am I doing this now? I'm doing this while they're doing this to at least play on Saturdays. It's so tough for coaches to be able to kind of gather the troops' morale basically moving forward.
And that's why, since last Tuesday when some of those coaches walked out in the parking lot and, I just tried to, it was so fresh and raw for them. You didn't want to bother them too much, but, they said they just needed a plan, because if you can get to these players and tell them this is when you're going to play, this is when you're going to practice. Like, these guys are trained for that. They love the opportunity to just go practice and lift weights. Like, that's how they got to this place in the first spot. So that's all they want, is something that they can tell the players so that they can go execute. The motivation part, you're right. I mean, it's going to be different for them. And if the other leagues somehow are able to play this fall, which I think is unlikely, even if they start, we'll see. That's another conversation. Then the motivation part does become a lot trickier, because Ohio State believed that it had one of the most talented teams that it has ever had, that it could win a national championship. And it won't be the same. But I think if you say, here's how you can get better the fall, you're going to play some games and maybe win the Big Ten in the spring. At least that's the plan at this point. And then you still have an opportunity for a lot of young guys that are going to be key in 2021 to win a national championship again. I think that can be done. It's not ideal, and I would never pretend otherwise. But from a coaching perspective, I know that all they really want is clarity on what they can do, because they believe that these high-achieving athletes will embrace that as long as you tell them what they can do.
Last thing here, and I'll let you go. But so we already know the announcement was already made by Kevin Warren of the Big Ten. There's no fall football season. Now people's hopes are back up a little bit because there's so much activity and there's a lot of noise. There's petitions. There's parents who are outside the Big Ten headquarters. I mean, technically, they don't have to give a second answer. Should we expect a second, no, there's no football season? Should we expect a response? I mean, what's the next step for Justin Fields, this petition, and even the parents who are looking for answers in Chicago at the headquarters right now?
Yeah, I mean, Ohio State's parents, for example, and I believe Iowa's did the same. They asked for a response by, today when we're filming this show. So I don't know if they'll get it. I don't know if Kevin Warren is ever going to actually emerge and give real answers that he didn't provide last Tuesday. I know from Ohio State's perspective, when there's all this, wild rumors about what they can and can't do in the fall, they are content that they've already answered that question, that they pursued options last Wednesday. I reported that at Letterman Row. They had conversations with, trying to play with Penn State and Nebraska, whether it was a scrimmage, whether it was a real game, what they could do in the fall, and they were told no. And then they put out a statement that said they're moving on to the spring. So they feel like they've covered their base. Kevin Warren hasn't done that, in my estimation, and certainly not to the satisfaction of Justin Fields or Ohio State's, families of the players. So I think that it's time for a press conference. It's time for them to reveal the specifics, talk about the presidents who made the decision. They have to do that. Otherwise, this is just going to continue. And if you're the Big Ten, you can't move on to the next step until everyone is satisfied with the one that you already took. They've lost right now the credibility to believe that they can guide them to the spring, and you have to get that back some way. So how will that look? I don't know, but it's time for Kevin Warren to figure it out.
So let's say Kevin Warren announces the second we hit stop on this interview. Kevin Warren comes out and just says, "Hey guys, I respect all your efforts, but there is we're sticking to our original plan, no football this fall." That puts Justin Fields in a weird spot. We could sit here and say, oh, well, he's done. He could easily, his spot in the draft is solidified. He's a top 10 pick. But with that being said, how interested would he be in trying to play this fall? Transfer portal, I don't know what the rules are with that right now. Have we seen, if there's no Big Ten season, have we seen the last of Justin Fields in college? That's what I'll send you out with.
Yeah, and I would have to imagine so. He's talked about the opportunity to potentially play in the spring. That would require help from the NFL. He would probably be getting a lot of advice from others telling him not to play, it'd be tricky to see what would happen there. I know from talking with Randy Wade that, Sean is a graduate. And if he really believed that the SEC was going to play and that it was worth his time, he could go transfer there tomorrow if there's a spot. But I think that most people find it unlikely that the SEC, no matter how entrenched they are in that position, that they can actually play. And I think when I was looking at just Ohio State and favoring delay, strongly favoring delay, the contact tracing is what's really going to wipe out, I think, a full season for anybody, because all you need is one test. And yeah, there's a bubble at North Carolina, but those presidents and those lawyers and doctors there, I don't think they're going to let that fly, because then you lose the argument for name, image, and likeness and the fact that they're not treated as differently than other students. That's a whole nother show that you and I would have to do right there. But if there's not college football in the fall for Ohio State, which I don't believe there will be, I currently have a hard time believing that Justin Fields will play again for the Buckeyes, which is an absolute shame for so many reasons. What he had in front of him, what the team could do, Heisman favorite, just watching him play any game, even if it's for nothing, was special. So that sucks, but I think that's probably what's going to happen.
All right, Austin Ward with Letterman Row covers Ohio State football. Good enough to join us here on 1410 Wing Live. Austin, tell everyone about Letterman Row, the website, social media, contact, and everything along those lines.
Yeah, at Letterman Row, LettermanRow.com. Still, no matter what happens, we'll keep covering Ohio State athletics all year round. Free, no subscription. Also follow us on our Letterman Row YouTube channel, where we're doing daily videos as well, trying to keep up with as much as we can. And we appreciate all the support that people have from coming to read our stuff.
All right, good stuff. Austin, thanks so much, man. Much appreciated. Take care.
Anytime, Justin.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio. ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
Partly sunny skies this afternoon with a high of 81 degrees. Tonight, mostly clear, down to a low of 54. And tomorrow, sunshine with a high of 83. I'm Leanna Ray for 1410 ESPN Radio.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Oil change coming up? We can help you out. Right now, you can get 5 quarts of Pennzoil high mileage motor oil and an STP oil filter for just $27.99. And if you need it fast, we can help you get it fast. Whether it's at home with our next day delivery or in store and curbside with our free same day pickup. The choice is yours. Getting the job done just got easier. Restrictions and details at AutoZone.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Today, pros have to do whatever it takes. The Home Depot is here to make that easier. We've got the products you know and trust on our app, delivery options to get what you need exactly where you need it, and a delivery tracker that keeps you up to date on the status of your order, so you can keep doing what you do best, whatever it takes to get the job done. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
If you're a man aged 45 to 80 with a history of heart disease or stroke, please listen closely to this message. Some men with a history of heart disease or stroke also have low testosterone levels, also known as hypogonadism. Symptoms of low testosterone, hypogonadism, include decreased sexual desire, fatigue, depressed mood, and loss of body hair. If you've had a heart attack or stroke in the past and experienced the symptoms of low testosterone, hypogonadism, please consider our research study that